Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast. We are back with another pay-per-view review or PLE review. I just named these series pay-per-view reviews because it's easier, honestly. But I am doing this over Zoom just because the new software that I am using doesn't have the video software. So yeah, I'm using Zoom to do this podcast today, but I like to do the uh have my camera on for these reviews. For some reason, I don't know. It's just a me thing. Usually, I do these right after the pay per view ends, but I had a lot of stuff going on last night, and yeah, just wasn't able to get the podcast out or record it last night. So we're doing it today. I just did an interview with Holden Albright. I'll announce it on my social media. But just finished that a couple hours ago, and now we are here. So I am behind on a lot of things, so I gotta catch up. But we are starting here with the Backlash 2025 pay-per-view review. Pay-per-view review. That sounds weird to say. Um, Backlash overall was an okay pay per view. Before I get into that, actually, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and everything that is to come to this channel. Like I said, I just interviewed Holden Albright, and that interview will be coming to the channel soon. And got some more big things coming to you this week and in the coming weeks. So yeah, make sure you are stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm losing my train of thought. But stay tuned for that. And yeah, the notification bell will definitely help you out to stay up to date with everything. And follow me on all social media so you can keep up with all the updates on the channel and all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, Backlash overall was a solid pay per view. I say solid. It was okay. It was an okay pay per view. This is a pay per view where if you missed it, there's probably only like two matches I tell you to skip through, maybe even three. Um, there's only a couple of matches here worth watching. Like if you were to ask me if I'd rather watch this pay per view back or watch something like Evolve or Collision, which I don't always watch, but I probably watch those more just because like more stuff happens, more meaningful things happen on those, and nothing really meaningful um or shocking happened on this pay per view, and even like the one shocking thing wasn't necessarily a surprise. Because nothing really is a surprise in pro wrestling anymore, and I'll get into that a little bit. It was Jeff Cobb. Um, but yeah, so let's start off with the first match. It was the Fatal Four Way match for the United States Championship between Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight. Definitely match of the night. This was my favorite match, and this is a match where I would tell someone to go watch back if you're gonna go watch something back from this pay per view. I'd just watch the Fatal Four Way match. Yeah, good stuff from all of these guys. There was points in this match where it felt like any of them could win, and which is good. That's the point of a Fatal Four Way. You can pin anybody to win the title, win the match. So yeah, definitely a really good match from these guys. Um the major spot was probably at the end where Jeff Cobb debuted and attacked LA Knight, letting Jacob Fatu retain, who looked surprised that Jeff Cobb was there. I said that Jeff Cobb could probably help Dominic Mysterio retain and join the Judgment Day. I did bring up the possibility of him joining the bloodline, but I would have rather the Judgment Day stuff. I don't know if I necessarily like him along with the bloodline because he's also not even Samoan. He's from Hawaii. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go and how much I'm going to like it. Um there's a lot of people that I'd like to see Jeff Cobb wrestle, someone like AJ Styles. They've probably wrestled before in Japan. I just haven't seen it. Um there's a lot of other people that I'd like to see him wrestle. Pretty much anyone, to be honest. Like Logan Paul, even. I wouldn't care about like a Jeff Cobb versus like Brutus Creed or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of people I'd like to see him wrestle, and I like Jeff Cobb. I think Jeff Cobb's a great wrestler. I just don't know if he'll fit in with the bloodline because you already have Jacob Fatu in this bloodline that's already like this, big, powerhouse monster that can move quick. So I don't know what adding Jeff Cobb to this does. It could end up being the best thing that they do. So we are going to give it a chance, but as of right now, it's like not something that I'm totally fond of. But yeah, it's as for that, there's nothing else really to talk about. Jacob Fatu retained. So after that, we had commercials because it's the WWE pay per view. We have commercials and a whole bunch of like promos that don't really mean anything. So, but then we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. It's gonna sound like I'm speeding through this, but in all honesty, there's not much to say about this pay per view. There's really not a lot to say. Um, yeah, Valkyria versus Lynch. Lyra Valkyria retained, which probably was the next most shocking thing because I picked Becky Lynch to win. WWE likes to do this thing where the person loses and then in the rematch that's when they win the title. That's honestly what they're just going to do here. Um, I don't know if it'll be at Saturday night's main event or if they're just going to do it on Raw. I do know that Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax are set for a match. They haven't announced anything, or I haven't seen that they have announced anything of when that's going to be, or if that's going to be at Saturday night's main event. But I don't think that both of these matches are going to be on that card. So if one gets on Saturday night's main event, it's likely the other one is just on television. Um, this was an okay match. It wasn't, the greatest match, but it wasn't the worst match. If you missed this, you really didn't miss much. Lyra Valkyria got a, like quick pin on Becky Lynch, and then immediately after Becky attacked Lyra. So despite the loss, she, came out on top, like she won the fight. And yeah, it's just gonna continue this feud. And eventually Becky's going to win this title, and I assume it's going to be in the rematch. I was just hoping that they get to the point and have Becky win here, but I like both Lyra and Becky. They're both good, but the match just wasn't great. So yeah, next after that we had the men's intercontinental championship between Dominic Mysterio and Penta. This felt like just a match on Raw, honestly, and Dominic Mysterio retained and with help from Carlito, JD McDonough, and Finn Balor, and then El Grande Americano, while the ref was distracted, cost Penta the match, and then let Dominic Mysterio retain. So they're gonna continue that feud, but like this is the same thing El Grande Americano slash Chad Gable has been doing for weeks on Raw, and there was really no difference here. Overall, this pay per view was just like a in your house type of pay per view, and yeah, I assume that Penta and um Chad Gable, El Grande Americano, whatever we want to call him, is going to have a match at the AAA event for Worlds Collide. So yeah, I see that going there. Obviously, Rey Mysterio was supposed to be on that show, but he's injured. So I don't know if the plan initially was Rey versus El Grande Americano for that show. But yeah, nothing else much to say about this. And yeah, Dominic retained. Next we had Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Now this I don't have much to say about either because I already like on the predictions side of things, I said that I don't understand why they're doing this. And I still don't. I still don't understand why they did this because this wasn't even where Gunther completely destroyed Pat McAfee. There was points where like, Gunther was like toying with him a little bit, but they had it so Pat had a chance and it seemed like Gunther survived Pat, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are we going that route? Why are we going down that road? Why is Gunther, barely getting past Pat? Um, After the match, Gunther showed Pat McAfee some respect. I don't know what that means for Gunther, if he's turning babyface or what's gonna happen there. I don't think he should turn babyface. I don't know what you'll get out of him turning babyface, but then again, I could be wrong. So yeah, there was nothing else to talk about in this match. I barely have had any notes for this match or for this pay-per-view in general. Um yeah, the and this is a pay-per-view I didn't pay much attention to. Like there wasn't really one point in the night where it had my 100% attention. Just because everything was just like the good time to take out the trash, kill some time, do something else. Um and yeah, that this was an okay pay-per-view, like I said. But next we had the main event, Randy Orton versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena retained by pinfall. Um, Not their worst match, but not their best match. And we had the typical thing where the shenanigans, the ref bump. We had a spot where Randy Orton gave John Cena an attitude adjustment through the announcers table, and it didn't break. And obviously, the goal was for it to break. And then Cena rolled over, and then the table just collapsed. So Randy's like, walking around like, okay, I gotta figure something else now because that spot didn't go to plan. He eventually just grabbed another table and did the same spot, you know, close enough to what we wanted to do. Um, yeah, and then later on we had the two ref bumps. We had a point where all the officials came out because Randy was upset that both refs were knocked out, and officials like Nick Aldis even came out, who ate an RKO along with people like Jamie Noble, Davari was there, X Pac was there, ate an RKO, and there's somebody else as well. I can't remember who fully was there, but they had that, and then we had a spot where um it looked like Randy was gonna punt John Cena, and R-Truth comes out and stops Randy, and R-Truth eats an RKO, and that gives Cena enough time to hit the low blow and hit Randy with the title just like he did at WrestleMania and retain the title. And I thought we were gonna get like a Goldberg coming out, somebody coming out, but Cena just cuts a promo saying he's the last real champion, and then the show goes off the air. That's it, and it was okay. Like I said, um, like it just said, it's not their best match, but it's not their worst match. The crowd seemed to like it, so um, that's a good thing that the live crowd liked it, and they weren't just dead during the entire match. Um, there was a kid in the front row that was like losing it because he thought Randy was gonna win the title. Um, so yeah, overall, this pay per view, this is probably my quickest prediction, not predictions, review podcast that I've done. But there really isn't much to go over here. Like I said, this felt like more of like an in your house type of pay per view. Um, if it sounds like I'm losing my voice, it's because I am. Like I said, I did an interview right before this that lasted like an hour. Um, so yeah, nothing much here. Um, and it is what it is. It was a 5 match card. I didn't expect this to be all that anyway. So I didn't go into this having high expectations like, oh, this is gonna be banger after banger after banger. I didn't expect much from it. I think Saturday night's main event is gonna be along the same lines, but we'll have to wait and see for when that time comes. But yeah, other than that, that's gonna wrap up this review podcast. This was quick. I am sorry I am late with it. For anyone that cares about that, he usually does it after. Um, so I apologize for that, but I will try and be more consistent. I am just falling behind on a lot of things right now, and I still have to edit some clips for the Kobe Durst interview as well. and then have to edit the Holden Albright interview that I just did today. So yeah, a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Backlash and where you think certain storylines are going. I always love to hear you guys' opinions, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. And just let me know what you thought of it if you checked it out. If you didn't watch Backlash, you did, like I said, you didn't miss a whole lot. And really the Fatal Four Way and the main event, you can go and watch back. The other matches, it's not fully worth watching back. You could probably skim through this in like an hour or so. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bells. You're up to date with all the videos, interviews, podcasts, all those good things. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.